Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode to the Road to 150, our Thursday show, the last show of the week, technically.
Yeah.
Oh, God, it is our last show of the week. Oh, man. What's going to happen in the next 5 days? I have no idea. Anyways, I am Davis Peng, writer for Fantasy Six Pack, and with me, obviously, the homie, they're ever so dope, Hope. How you doing today, Hope?
I'm doing good, Davis. Doing good. Almost a weekend. Getting to fly home this weekend. A long weekend, of course, because of Juneteenth, which is awesome. So, excited to get home. I'm an aunt now. That's cool. It's weird to say. My brother's younger than me, but I am an aunt. It's gonna be cool though. I'm excited to see the baby. It's gonna be a fun weekend.
Oh God, I'm old. I was gonna make a Seinfeld joke. It's like we have to see the baby. We have to. Anyway, I'm not sure if you know that reference. Do you?
No.
Oh man. All right, whatever. It's a reference from Seinfeld. It's like literally about all about seeing the baby, which you are actually gonna do. So it just cracks me up. We have
Yeah.
to see the baby. Anyways,
Yeah.
so today's episode, guys, we just have a quick topic. We're gonna knock out a quick draft. So hopefully you can join us for that. But our topic for today, I just thought it was funny because more so for me, any topic is usually just humorous to myself, and I make Hope kind of humor me, and obviously the chat too. So it is today. If you could have someone be your season winner, who would it be and why? And now it doesn't have to be somebody like I'm overly drafting, right? Who would you want it to be your league winner, and like what's the reason for it? Like Hope, I'll let you go first before I kind of become annoyed of mine. And like here's an example. Last year it was like Josh Jacobs. Like I wanted Josh Jacobs to be the guy because everybody crapped on like, oh my god, Josh Jacobs isn't good. Zamir White this, Hall of Fame game that, like all this crap that came up. So I was really, really rooting for him to be like the season winner. He made it 14 weeks, 15 weeks, but he was close. So who
I
would
feel like
yours be?
so this year mine's more of a position group specifically. It's elite tight ends, and this is funny from Terrence. Yeah, I've never really watched Seinfeld at all. I've seen a couple of reruns here and there when they've like randomly been on, but no, I missed that one. Unfortunately, it's a show. It's an iconic show. I've wanted to go back and watch, but I haven't found the time to do that.
It holds up. I made my wife watch it. She liked it
I'm
enough.
more of an Office person. I
Ugh,
love The Office. Seen it like
good
three
too.
times. It's so good. But back to our reason we're here. The elite tight ends. Like it's a prior confirmer, I guess you could say. We saw it. I mean, it's already been confirmed. You kind of said that earlier. It's like we know like elite tight ends in the playoffs are this awesome separator, right? There's kind of been some pushback this year around late three tight end, four tight end builds, and I've kind of been thinking too about like I don't feel like it's talked about enough about how hard it actually is to hit that parlay, right? I think everyone's like, oh my three late tight ends, they'll just ping pong, late and we'll be fine with that position. But it's never talked about like you actually have to hit the three ones that do that versus when you look at elite tight ends and even last year when they quote had bad fantasy playoffs, like Kelsey still had a 14 point and a 15 point week. Obviously, week 17 wasn't his best week. Same for Andrews. He even had what, like 112 or 15. His other two weren't great. But then Kittle, of course, as we know, was on every winning playoff team last year. So I want the elite tight ends to run it back. I want it to become more of a mainstay where
It, where it's not even a niche build anymore. We're not even calling it elite tight end. We're just calling it like, yo, you need a tight end. You need a good tight end.
you need a good tight end. Exactly. Because I think, like, and it's something I'm going to look into too whenever I find the time to research this, go back last year. Like, looking at the late tight ends and like what you actually needed. I know a little bit of research has been done into it, and it won't be too hard, but I just think that's underrated. No one talks about like you actually have to hit that three tight end parlay, right? Like a lot of those late tight ends, they put up 3, 4, 5 all throughout the playoffs, and it's just not going to get it done. So
So after you brought it up to me a little bit, I actually did have a study a little on some of these. So I did this last year and I did a little bit of it this year when I did my tight end punt article, and it made me laugh when I think I put like Gasicki, Knox, and somebody else, right? Like someone that was like actually a combo, right? Like a very generic combo. And one of them that made me laugh was like, oh, like they were pretty strong in playoffs. And then when I actually looked, I was like, oh wait, they sucked week 15 and 16, and then one guy hit in 17.
yeah,
So it was just as bad week 15. You're probably out of the playoffs.
of
You
course,
haven't.
yeah.
So like it actually is a thing. And as much as I want to like punt tight ends good, sure, there's a combination that it did get through. Even if it's 1/3 to half the combinations, there was another 50% of punt tight end where it sucked week 15 and week 16.
Yeah.
And guess how many chances you get when you fail those weeks?
Right.
0. You get no more chances. You're done. You're out. Like,
Yeah.
see you in Best Ball Mania 5.
It's a tough balance too because elite tight end wasn't perfect, right? Like Andrews didn't have a great playoffs.
No.
Kelsey crapped the bed in week 17. But overall, as a whole, like I mean, obviously we saw it with Kittle, and it could happen with any of those guys. And like the elite tight ends' bad weeks are still just so much better than the others, and so that's something we're going to look into a little bit more as the summer goes. But so that's kind of my position group that I would love to see be league winners again.
Okay. I mean, that's fair. I actually, I take some elite tight ends, at least the mid elites, and I stack them in 3 tight end sets for that specific reason. I know people would have been like, "Oh, that's too much," and then they started looking at it like, maybe that's right. Like, you got to advance. You actually have to advance. So mine, it's kind of like a throwback to my Seattle and my DK, Seattle DK Metcalf Tyler Lockett, but I want the Bucks to run it back. I want like Chris Godwin and Mike Evans to go up there. I sometimes I hate like just these, and I get it. I understand Baker Mayfield is just so bad, but last year all the jokes about Geno Smith and Drew Lock was rampant from April to like season start. Even like the first 2 weeks, I was not a Geno guy. I was rooting for Drew Lock, but hell, even Drew Lock made the news for being made fun of by some intern or on some whatever network channel. You guys remember that where DK had to come in there and tell them to quiet down? So like people went rampant on how like the Seattle's tanking and Seattle sucks. They're gonna go 4-13 and they're gonna end up in the CFL. Like, and guess what?
Yeah.
Everybody's on that bandwagon. Everyone's like, "Oh my god, this is my team. Oh, I love Geno so much. Geno's my guy. Geno that." Now Baker is still bad, but
Oh,
Chris
he's very
Godwin
bad.
and like Mike Evans have never been bad. They're not like these like middle wide receivers. They're on most teams wide receiver ones. Mike Evans can still go to a team and be a wide receiver one. If someone said to you, "Hey, Mike Evans might go to your team," you're not gonna go, "Ew." You're gonna go, "Yeah, really?" Like what? Like that's
Oh my
cool. I'm
god.
down.
Yes, I'd
Chris
love for him to be
Godwin,
wide receiver one on our team.
exactly. So Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, they're still talented. So why are we pretending like they're not? So I wanted to run it back that these bad teams do well again, and I hope season winners. I hope Mike Evans is going to be that league winner again. So people like get off these narrative that these bad quarterbacks will just completely ruin good wide
Yeah.
receivers, D Hop and etc.
No, and that's a big speaking. Like we're gonna talk about this on another show too. But like lessons learned, that's something I learned last year because I was one of those people fading Seattle. They're gonna be horrible. They have no quarterback, and it burnt me. For those receivers. Now, thankfully, that did get me on a lot of Kenneth Walker and a good bit of Rashad Penny, which only helped me for about 5 or 6 weeks. But it got me on a lot of those 2 running backs, so that was a win of it. So I didn't fully fade the team because I'm not into fully fading offenses, but yeah, no, that was definitely a hole I had last year and something I'm not doing with Tampa. I'm not going to be afraid of taking Mike Evans and Chris Godwin or even
5th round, 6th round, right? It's not the end of the
and
world.
the same too. And I know you're less in on this guy, but I think the same can still be said for Marquise Brown. I really do. I think he's a better talent than you do, but he's in that same type of situation where everything is doom and gloom, but he could just get so many targets in that offense that now he's risen since BBM opened, but I'm still mixing him in when it makes sense. And I like more guys in that range than him. But if he's there, if he falls past ADP, I'm not afraid because it's Colt McCoy or whoever tune like they have. So I think it's another similar situation there.
Yeah, I feel like there's people kind of harp on down players, and like this, which kind of brings it back just for a second, like for like the Steelers, right? Like Steelers had a bad year last year. Like we get it, bad line, overall bad line. No wide receiver touchdowns that weren't like George Pickens, right? Like Deontay Johnson had 0. Chase Claypool like was completely terrible. I think his only touchdowns are rushing. Then you have Najee. Like Najee's a guy that's like sitting on the back end of like, oh, this team sucks, therefore they suck. But it's like, how good can you? And this is on the flip side. Trubisky was that terrible that it actually hurt the team. So maybe Baker is at that level. I think Trubisky is above that. I think Trubisky is worse than Baker in that case because Trubisky didn't win any games that I can think of last year. Baker went in and did work with the Rams. But like Najee's a guy I feel like is also getting pushed down. So although I don't think he needs to be my season winner, I do think people are pushing some of these guys down way too hard. We're telling the first round pedigree player that a undrafted player is like much better. Like it just seems kind of goofy to me. I feel like when bad teams do bad things, a lot of these players suffer for ADP.
They do, and again, though, I will clarify, and like I get like both Terrence and Andrew here, like they both seem to be lower on them, and I am lower on them. Like I'm not gonna have 20% of those guys, which who knows once you get in this draft. Actually, I think it's my puppy exposures that are in right now, but I'm not like full fading them by any, or not like full fading, but not going all in. I'm not gonna have 20% of each of those guys and think they're smashes. I'm just not afraid of making the click, right? Like, you know, be at the field. It's just something you learned last year from Seattle. And now look, Seattle may be more of an outlier than, you know, the rule, right? So that's something we also should monitor.
Oh, well. Like I said, though, I just think Najee's got that in him. I feel like Chris Godwin, these Mike Evans guys, he's just got it in him. And I feel like we put a lot of, like, yes, it's going to be a down year. But I'll tell you this right now, those people always point to Tampa throwing the most. Tom Brady threw so many passes to everybody that it wasn't just Chris Godwin and Mike Evans. I feel like these teams are going to hyper down a little bit. But on another note, I mean, that's basically it.
Yeah. I don't
Did
have
you
any. No, I mean, look, we have our two guys that we're in on as league winners as well. I'm a Ramondre person. We know you're Najee, and you actually like think that Najee is a better pick than Ramondre, like as far as not even just value wise, but you think you should be going higher than him, right?
I think he should be a little higher than him. I also think I feel like Ramondre should be exactly where he is at Najee. Then you top it off that, the Dalvin Cook news and all that other stuff that goes with it. I'm like, that one I don't believe is going to happen. I do think Ramondre scaves the Dalvin Cook news, but like Najee had like 12 touchdowns last year. And the year before that, or like 10. He had like 10 to 12. I'm not exact, but the year before that, he was also that guy. Ramondre's going to share in my mind, or Ramondre just won't put up the same numbers as Najee. Or if he does, it's going to be equal, and I can get a guy about around later versus around early.
I don't know. I can't get there with you. Is it actually like you think he'll outscore him in fantasy points?
I do think he can outscore him. I don't think that like Ramondre is going to get all that workload we think. I mean, I think that offense might even be worse than the Steelers. I think
What did he just say? I don't agree with that.
I could tell Hope doesn't agree with me right now. I'm still right, though.
What? No way.
Whoa. Hear me out now. Hear me out. So this has been a long time coming.
Yeah, we're trying something out here. Have to let us know.
And we've already had one bet earlier this season, and we're gonna set up, obviously for the second one. Like we have argued about this throughout the last couple episodes. I do think Najee's a good value. I know that she doesn't see it the same way, but I mean, what's the bet, Hope? Give me the bet.
Oh, the bet. If you give me straight up fantasy points, I'm definitely taking Ramondre over Najee.
All right, I'll call it.
I mean,
are we betting what, a BBM for next year?
Yeah, it's another BBM. I will say our first one, Tony versus Michael Thomas. Don't feel great about that one.
I'm looking like I'm winning right now.
That was like early on. All right, you know what? Okay, we took some people by surprise with that one. That was a fun. I love the video. I think it's hilarious. We got a couple other we're cooking up. But that was good work by you, Davis, on that video. But yeah, it's season long points, right? Any injury stipulations you want on that?
They got to at least play 4 games. I mean, or at least play within 4 games of each other. Is that fair?
I don't know if you hear that. It just got a loud crack of thunder and lightning outside here.
Are you gonna end up in Kansas with Dorothy?
I sure hope not. It's bad weather here in North Dallas.
All right, so let's do 4 games that they have to at least be within 4 games of each other. I think that's the fairest bet we could always do. So if your guy plays 17 and mine plays 13, hey, that just comes with the game. Fair enough?
Mm-hmm.
All right, we'll play within 4 games. I'm telling you, I think Najee's going to be in that boat. I'm not scared of Jalen Warren. I do think Jalen Warren is better than Pierre Strong and Ty Montgomery. I'll give you guys that. All day, is Jalen Warren better than Ty Montgomery and all these random guys? But no, I do not think that it's enough for me not to take Najee at his going price. He's going to show that he's a first-round pick.
That's fair. I think there's a chance he does, but he's not going to outscore Ramondre. I think this is one of the easier bets we've never made and we're going to make. Let's see.
I know that for you, you have even declared
Oof,
that like you
that's a
don't.
big. I like that from Terrence.
I mean, to be fair, I think they'll be close enough. That's almost the same idea.
Yeah.
I do think that you've been like you've even said like you don't even care who goes there, Ramondre. He can go there. It wouldn't matter. Fournette
Like Dalvin
wouldn't even
Cook.
matter.
Oh, Fournette
Dalvin,
wouldn't scare me at all.
yeah,
Dalvin Cook would be one where I would probably think I'd be a little more nervous about that.
but you still be
I think
buying on.
I'd be yeah. If he drops to what? Where would he drop if Dalvin Cook signs there?
Aaron Jones tier, I think.
Fifth,
Yeah,
3 rounds, probably still.
yeah.
I probably
That's. I
also
mean, you're in on it.
yeah. Probably also buy Dalvin Cook though in the Patriots offense. I don't know.
So, I can see the lighting in your background. Oh my god.
Yeah, I might need to turn on a radar here. It's very bad storms out there, but all right, well, we're gonna get this draft
You're not
so
gonna
we can
strap
get
out
this.
before your power goes out.
Yeah, before my power goes out, and I'm gonna like be streaming it from my phone or something. Whoa, influencer 101. You love to see it.
Oh, you're already in. The ice didn't even get a chance.
Oh yeah, no, I went ahead and hopped in. Oh, Christy is about to do a cardio draft.
He was gonna do a cardio for you. He was gonna get fit. Oh, then you want to get the 101. I guess that's a good trade-off.
Yeah, we'll take the 101.
I'm glad you guys enjoyed that bet board.
Yeah, that's a fun video.
We're gonna have our own bet sheets down, so everything will be written and everything will be shown. Just a little bit of fun here and there, rather than just kind of just shooting the words to each other.
Yeah, no, we gotta put something
Production
on the
value.
line.
I did laugh when I was
Fun, though.
thinking that.
Another.
My wife thought it was hilarious.
I thought it was hilarious too. That was a good one. I can't wait for the other one we've got cooking. That one is truly going to be hilarious. I didn't even consult you on that pick. I guess you wanted Justin Jefferson.
I want to be different. Maybe I want Najee 101. Let's go. Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb is a dead move. We always get the Nick Chubb 101s in here. Maybe not in BB-ups though.
No. Nez, I think you're really gonna like I think a lot of people are really gonna like the next one we have cooked up. It's gonna be good.
Yeah, it's gonna be really goofy. We know that we have a lot of inside jokes here, so we're just gonna try to like play with them a little bit. And just whatever the case may be.
So I will ask you. No,
go ahead.
Oh yeah, okay. I was gonna ask you. So I know some people like to get unique, flip the board. Are you ever not taking Justin Jefferson number one? Is that something you ever do? Like, because we've seen it work, right? I remember a couple years ago, Pete and Bine4 were drafting a team, and they took Devontae Adams number one when he was going like I don't know late first round, something like that, mid first round. Do you ever do stuff like that to get unique combos, or?
I think it's a possibility if the weapon's that good, right? I won't do it AJ Brown. I do not think AJ Brown is as good as JJ. I don't think he's good as Chase. I don't think he's good as Hill or Cooper Kupp. I think AJ Brown in his best season just doesn't match up to those guys. He's too inconsistent for that. I think Kupp would be somebody I would consider doing it. Let's say that Saquon's falling 25. I would probably Cooper Kupp and just like go for that Saquon stack down the road or something like that. I could see that being kind of a thing. Jamar Chase, even people deal with Chase right now, but
Chase. I don't think that's like.
But I would to go late.
That's not that hard of a take.
I wouldn't do that for anyone that's going super late right now. Maybe Austin Eckler if you're trying to really push that like really nice combo for that Broncos Chargers.
Because you're trying to get that the 4-5.
Yeah, you might be able to do that, and I think it makes some sense if someone's doing that because you get them on the 2-3, right? You get Eckler. You could grab, Allen, Judy, hope Mike Williams because he's kind of on the downhill, fall to you later.
Yeah.
I mean, it might make sense. They played a really shootout game last year at week 18.
They did.
They played an amazing shootout game, and Austin Eckler has shown he could be a top, 3-4 fantasy asset. We're down on him this year because of drama, and I think everybody's betting against his size. Every year, people get bet against Austin Eckler, unable to do it again. It was last year. It was this year. I think you were in that boat a little bit last year. You were like, hey, I just want a little bit of Eckler. It's hard to repeat. He did it.
Yeah.
And it sucks, and he was a league winner last year. Like, so, I mean, what are we going to say? So I think Austin Eckler might be someone to do that.
Rob got us saying we're going to take Najee James Conner.
He's got me on that one. He knows. They're three down backs. That'll be my argument. They're three down backs. You have no idea.
Dude, team up the gut. No.
Oh my god. But yeah, I think like Austin Eckler, I think would make sense. If he probably the only one because you could make that really strong correlation play.
I
And you
think
get
that
Justin
would make
Herbert on the
sense.
turnaround too. Like it'd be fun.
I will say too, this is kind of off topic, but I've been scooping Eckler a lot on DK because the receivers go so much later there. Well, not so much later, but there are receivers we like that they go 1 or 2 rounds later than they do on UD. So you like it's I know it's a PPR side, which obviously Eckler's great for PPR, but I don't feel as bad like starting with an RB over there because like I know I can make it up at receiver more than I can on Underdog.
God. I remember like having Eckler in a lot of my PPR like redrafts and just laughing when I was watching him. I'm like, oh, a 2 yard catch, another 2 yard catch. Oh my god, another 2 yard catch. Like that's so many. And then
Yeah.
I was helping a friend and he messaged me. He's like, dude, he has like 12 receptions for that. I'm like, yeah, that's Eckler because there's, Mike Williams is injured again, and they play a very safe veteran style,
So
game.
I would do Pollard or Mondre. Obviously, I think we're going to take one of these. Has got to be Ramondre.
Is
Who
he
else?
though?
It does
Is
for
he the
me.
guy?
It is for me. And I'll give you the second pick here at the turn.
No, I think we should just get the double. Do we get the double running back?
That's what I would do. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm fine going for like Metcalf. I don't know. I have 3% Metcalf right now. He's a tough one.
Let's grab Allen. It's great. Let's grab Allen.
Allen.
Let's get that correlation game.
That's fine. I don't do this much, so I don't mind getting something. I definitely don't have a build of this yet.
I normally don't care for the correlation super much, and if I was to get a correlation, I probably would have grabbed Mahomes for that week, like 15, to get that free advance week.
Look,
But Josh Allen, when I was looking at his numbers, that dude has like so many 30-point games, like
he's a
30-point quarterback games, and that's very strong. I don't always grab a ton of that, but I think if we're gonna get Ramondre, let's just grab Josh Allen.
I mean, this is kind of a unique build for me, so I don't mind it. Take Najee. Yeah, Mahomes. I do have Mahomes over Allen pretty clearly for me, but
same.
I like the correlation play. I don't mind that.
Yeah, correlation play. Josh Allen is maybe these Diggs things. They don't have a receiver still that isn't, Gabe Davis. If you look at like Allen's numbers, you expect him to run, which obviously we do because he's still getting drafted in the 3rd round. He puts up the highest ceilings, higher ceilings than Mahomes, and higher ceilings than Jalen Hurts.
That's fair. I don't know. It's tough for me because this year specifically, I'm kind of expecting Buffalo to take a slight step back with Allen, and so I'm taking Hurts and Mahomes over him. But obviously, if Allen plays, like he has in the past, then it's a smash. It's just, I know Rob's kind of mentioned it here. There's the stuff about him not running as much this year, wanting to protect himself. Now, football player getting out there on the field, the instincts kick in. And he's just still scrambling everywhere because that's just that's the way he's played his whole life. I think you can make that argument, but
I don't think he's gonna scramble super hard, but I do think he might still use his big body.
Well, I think it might be the opposite, where he still scrambles a lot because it's just natural. You're out there running around versus them actually calling designed runs for him as much this year.
Fantasy Sports Dave has a question. He asks us, do you draft based on your ADP and rankings? I do use the ADP to set myself in, but when it comes to the pick in that specific round, I do take my actual rankings. So that's why you'll see me grab a lot of Najee, a lot of James Conner, a lot of Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, those type of guys, just because in my rankings at that ADP, that's where I want those guys. And that doesn't generally change too much. I haven't drafted them yet. Okay, I haven't taken an old guy yet. You have to wait till I get to my old guys.
No, so this is a joint draft. We're not drafting old guys on this team.
Come on,
don't say
they're called veteran players.
They're called veteran players. I draft based off ADP, especially later, but similar to Davis about having our preferences, of course. But no, I'm more of an ADP drafter myself.
Yeah, I let the ADPs lead me to the round and just take advantage of the ADPs leading there. There's no reason to grab I may like Najee as a top 12 running back, but I'm not gonna take him in round 2 when I know I can get him round 4. There's just no real reason to do that. Or even at round 3, if I'm gonna reach on, I'll just take him 5 picks early or 6 picks early. But there's no reason to reach 15, 20 picks. I've had people argue that you should do that, but I haven't seen many teams that succeeded short of the BBM2 team that took nothing but Buccaneer players and like won like he won like regular season BBM2.
Let's see what we got here. The only thing with taking Allen is now we can't take Kirk, which is fine. But
yeah, we can't. We'd have to. We could if you wanted to get unique and just eat that little mini dead quarterback week and assume that Allen gets us enough to get by.
I think and Gibbs 8 picks, or where are we at? 48. This is a little blurry. Gibbs fall or Godwin's here, Ayuk's here, DJ Moore. I don't know who you like here. I'm going to cue Godwin because we talked about the Bucks. I know you'd be fine with that. Looks like you're having technical troubles.
Oh yeah. I was like DJ Moore.
Yeah.
I would even consider Gibbs just for maybe that mini Minnesota correlation because it says it's a.
I only have 3. Yeah, I only have 3% of him. I want to
really
get
like
it.
Gibbs, though.
I want to get him falling here though. I don't ever get him. I think it's it's a good fall for him. We're probably gonna get buried at receiver in this room, but I want to get my Gibbs exposure up a little bit, especially when you get him to fall back to where he started BBM.
I have a hard time taking Gibbs. I would have probably taken Mixon. I think Mixon's just a riser. His rise has slowed down lately though, so I feel like you have plenty of opportunity.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm getting more excited about Gibbs. I know it's tough. Like,
look at team 2. Look at that correlation right there. Jealous.
Did everyone fire the golden today? That was an interesting contest that UD dropped. Small field, but all to first. I actually did not get a chance to fire it today.
I did not have a chance. I was at work. Considered like sneaking away a little bit to do it, and then I just don't think like it's tough though. You're $10, it's a pop shot, it's a scratcher.
Yeah, I would have if I would have had time to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see. Being on turn stuff. I don't know. I like getting that Gibbs ADP fall. A 1.683. Josh Allen fired into the golden. Complete mess. Joining 95% of the field.
Sheesh.
Man, I've seen some of this like optimal talk and the 1QB. Like, it's tough. And I know it's more of a theoretical discussion than something that people are actually putting into practice. But I don't know. Have you paid attention to any of that stuff? It seems more like people are just talking about like what would technically be optimal and not like what you should do.
So I kind of went on the rant with this in some of our chats, but like I think when people talk about optimal, they're talking about force specifically to week 17. And if you knew the answers,
yeah,
right. And I disagree that that's the case. Optimal is always about optimal play season long, right? And I don't mean like week 1 through week 14. I mean like week 1 through week 17. It's optimal play. So in like poker, GTO is optimal betting, optimal movement at everything. So at the turn, at the flop, at the river, all that stuff, right? It's not the final week 17, when the river comes out, how to bet. It's every stage where you're sitting, how do you play when you sit? So optimal play for this would be the same concept. It's the move you're supposed to make is to make knowing that you have these technical outs against you and outs for you. So like what does 13 wide receiver do or 10 wide receiver do that 8 or 9 can't do? I just feel like that's you lose a lot more than you gain. And people have bad weeks. Josh Allen up until the last 2 years dropped I think like 30% of his games. Like 30% of his games he was just not good. Even this was year 2 and I think it was year 3. His last year and I think the year 3 year before it was a little bit better. But there's games he just sucks and you lose. So you see that quite a bit. If I was to go optimal, it would go Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes rarely drops a game. He rarely drops games at all. I think he dropped.
And I know Rob was in here. I don't know if he's still here. He was talking too about some of the research he's done on DraftKings about getting the 300 yards for the extra 3-point bonus. And Mahomes is just like heading away above the field.
Yeah, easily.
As far as that goes,
you buy that all day because he's going to get it. He hits the hit rate way more than most quarterbacks do. And that's why I think if I was to do that build, it would be a Kelsey Mahomes team. If I was going to go like 1-3, 13-1 or something, it would just be a Mahomes Kelsey team. They rarely drop games.
I agree. Let's see here. Going back
Uh,
around, we are kind of slightly getting buried in an avalanche at receiver. I feel like we'll see
I don't
who
know.
we'll see who
We
gets
got
back to
okay,
us.
guys.
Yeah, Rob's still here. Yeah,
Yeah,
unreal.
exactly. That's amazing. That's an amazing stat line. It tells you a lot about like what DraftKings, and it tells you that his hit rate just does not miss. And he does it with some of like weirdest weapons too. Like I can't ever think of a year where I was like, wow, these are some really good receivers on this team. Like for Patrick
Well,
Mahomes.
Tyreek Hill.
I mean, weapons like a set of them, right? It's always like
I
one
mean,
to two guys, right? It's like Tyreek Hill,
I
Kelsey,
mean, how
or
many people? How many teams really have like 3 great weapons? Honestly, though, I mean, he at one point he had Hill, Kareem Hunt for that one season, and Jarvis Kelsey. So
Hunt was pretty solid, but he wasn't like catching like 9 touchdowns or like 90 receptions or something. But he did it with guys like Byron Pringle and Demarcus Robinson. Like he was
no,
going out there getting numerous touchdowns or Noah Gray and stuff like that. So I give credit to Mahomes a ton for that.
yeah, he's the best. He's the absolute best. Well, let's see who comes back to us, man. We are. I think there's 2 obvious picks here
My boy.
potentially. Yeah, Evans. I
Yeah.
think we go Evans and get the Gabe correlation because we need to
Yeah,
catch up at receiver.
that's fine. Totally cool with that. Also a person we talk about flipping the field. Diggs could be another guy, although he is kind of like in a
I don't
haterade
know.
right round. You're getting
No,
like Gibbs
I'm
into
not worried
Allen,
about him not playing though.
but I also feel like you can get Diggs into Allen at like pick 4. You don't have to do a pick 1 for him. So
I
I
don't
would
think
say
you have
that's
to even really do it. Like usually people aren't taking Josh Allen like us. Like it's falling back to the
he's
Diggs
going to like
factor
take
a lot.
27, pick 30. So that's what I'm saying. Like pick
Yeah,
4, you could get around and flip the board and maybe get Allen and Diggs. I've
maybe
got a few Allen and
you
Diggs
could get a
combos
couple
lately.
different combos potentially, but I don't know.
But yeah, the contribution games are
I think
hit. The
that was
heavyweight.
a huge turn for us to catch back up a little at wide receiver. I mean, I'm not the biggest Gabe fan, but um, it helps with our stack because if you don't get him, like I did in my cardio club where I took a falling Allen at like 34 and then only stacked him with Knox in the end. Because
What's crazy is to see some of these names that are going way earlier than they used to, right? Like Traylon Burks used to be like a pick 78 guy. I remember actually being able to get Burks as like my 5th receiver, like no problem. Like I got 3, I'm doing this. I got Burks at 78, 80 with
but you
Deontay
still can
Johnson.
get him as your 5th receiver.
Yeah, you have to push harder, but I meant like much easier, right? Like was it even a challenge?
I know.
So you're seeing a lot of this like this movement that's hard. It led me to my tweet today where it was just like this year picks 2 through 4 have just like felt really tough. I had my guys last year. I had a ton of people. I was like, oh, Tyreek Hill, this. I'm fading Debo. I know what I'm doing here. Rounds 2 through 4, with how much wide receivers been pushed up and making me kind of fade RBs as the role to be into these anchors or these weird dual elites. I've been having a hard time because there's a lot of like 3rd round guys I just don't like DK Metcalf, like Calvin Ridley. Like I like Calvin Ridley to bounce back, but are
Yeah,
we confident he's a
it's
round
tough.
3
Amari
guy?
Cooper, like
Cooper with D Hop
I was
running around
taking
out
him a
there?
lot, but yeah, I don't know.
Good. Oh, God,
He's
it's
not
been
like that
weird.
reliable type guy, Amari
Josh
Cooper.
Jacobs right now, who like I get it, amazing year last year, but he's normally just been a round 3, round 4 guy. Now he's at peak buy again. Um, he was I loved him at round 5 on his average years, but now he's going around 2, 3 turns.
It's yeah,
It's hard. It's a very tough year this year.
I agree.
That ADP pay up is no joke. So, anyways, I want to go back to our original topic for a second. I'm curious for the chat, like, who's your guys' would-be season winner if you could have one? Like, if you got to pick
Yeah, not even who do you
somebody,
think it would be. Like this could be like the meme reason why. Like, would it be hilarious if like Kadarius Toney scored 45 in week
I'm
17? I
I'm
think that'd
rooting
be
for like
hilarious.
Mac Jones and a snow game win, so it'd be hilarious. Like, I want a Patriots Bills snow game win, so like everyone points back and goes, "Oh man, remember that time we kept fading Josh Allen and pushed him down? Oh, maybe we shouldn't have done that. Like maybe we
Uh,
shouldn't have pushed him down behind Jalen Hurts and like Patrick Mahomes, or this correlation was not a good
Well,
correlation."
I think that's fair, but I mean, I think he should go behind Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes. I know you're not saying that, but like theoretically, with the
Snow, yeah, but part of it is because it was Week 17 snow game.
Calvin Ridley would be a really cool comeback story if he was like just the guy you
Easy
needed.
winner. He's just like this league winner, just dominates. Oh god.
Ayuk, no, I want an Ayuk with like a Brock Purdy 40 ball, just going off. I think that would be hilarious.
Ayuk was a my guy last season. Really loved him in round 6, 7. I was just drafted a buttload of him. Felt like Debo was a little too overly priced Because especially Trey Lance. Trey Lance targeted him quite a bit. Ooh, we could grab somebody. Let's see.
Jeez, the receivers, man. Jameson Williams would have been nice to give some upside on this team. I don't love anyone here. I like these tight ends.
We could. I was thinking maybe we could just double
Boyd.
it down, take like Boyd Lazard.
Oh, jeez.
It'd be like a 10 pick reach, but we would get 5, 6. But here's also the thing: we already have a lot of these like soup up guys. So we can grab a tight end here probably too. So let's get Boyd
Yeah.
for now, and
Jeez,
I
we
think we
got
could
buried
grab
here.
the J. We
Would
could
you take?
grab. I
Do
would
what?
think we grab a running back here.
I do not want these right. I don't know.
I'm okay with like James
mean-
Cook. I'm okay with Brian Robinson. AJ Dillon, for that, his second half December wins he does. We'd be set at RB.
What about the tight ends though? Are you just saying you want to be done at RB? I kind of like getting Njoku or Freiermuth personally.
Yeah, I'm okay with Freiermuth. I don't like taking Evan Ingram right now though. That's for sure.
No. Yeah, we're just gonna take Freiermuth. I've got the most of him.
I think having the third RB could have been pretty solid here, but then I
think
think mid tight end's pretty strong.
I really will like some RBs that come back. We really needed to make up at receiver a little bit more, and Boyd's got that contention upside. He's not a great pick. Yeah,
he's still our fifth receiver. By pick 100, it's not the end of the world, and we can still grab a lot of these like flyer guys. Like
I like that Freiermuth opens this up to a quarterback too, because another stack. Like Njoku, I like a lot, and I'm taking a lot. And Evan Ingram's okay. I'm not the biggest Evan Ingram person, but Freiermuth opens this up to another stack potential too.
All right, so everyone's giving us these like really okay. You got to give us a reason though. You can't just be like, "Hey man, I need some goofy forward tight end for Marvin Jones Jr. touchdowns for Mr. Scampers." I mean, it's got to be a reasoning. What, you want old guys to win? Because that'd be cool. I'd be down for old guys to win.
I just like thinking of what the funniest being, man, if James Conner scored like 35 points. I don't think you would never stop tweeting. I think like it would just be constant like memes coming from your Twitter account.
I would be that one's more expected. I think for me, Michael Thomas.
More expected. I don't think.
No, because he did like well enough last year. There's a lot of people pumping James Thomas, like James Conner. Everyone's pumping James Conner. Like
I don't think the people are pumping him, but I think more people can admit that like his pick makes sense. Like last year he was going late and had a good season, even with bad QB play. Like that one makes more sense. Now Michael Thomas, who hasn't done anything in 4 years,
that would be perfect.
And you have 60% of him.
It's 57, Hope. Get it correct, okay? I don't want you embarrassed to be out here with my fake numbers.
Yeah. I mean, I think you having 57% Michael Thomas isn't embarrassing enough. But
what I would want is I want like Michael Thomas to like just get like the game-breaking play. Like I want someone to grab onto his ankle.
Michael Thomas cannot make the game-breaking play. It will go for like 12 yards max.
I want him to run a slant, break the slant as the guy grabs his ankle. Right, like they're grabbing his ankle and they're pulling it, like they're pulling his ankle and his toe, and he breaks it off and he runs that slant in for a touchdown on a 70-yard run. That's what I need. I need the slantiest toe grabbing Michael Thomas play, and he's gonna be my league winner, and that's what I want. I want the memeiest wins.
Jeez, man.
And I want it to be slant. It has to be a slant. It has to be perfect.
Oh yeah, it's got to be slant boy out there.
We got Rachaad White. I like that one from Evan Chris. I feel like he's getting a lot of crap, and he hasn't done nothing to nobody. Like Rachaad White.
Well, he's not very efficient at all last year, though.
But nobody was efficient on that team last year.
I know. I mean, their line was trash. I get it. I think he's going to catch a lot of passes too.
Feel bad for him. I will admit, I haven't been drafting him. I dropped him on my Madden team. I couldn't keep him. I was like, Rachaad White, you suck. I'm not going to be able to keep you. And then I do like the Debo a little bit. I'm off Debo, but I'd be happy for him. Debo gets a lot of crap, but he's a pretty good player in real life. I wish my team had him. He'd be an amazing Dolphin with the 2 receivers we have now. I'll be so happy.
I still like some of these running backs here. I like probably Elijah. I like Elijah Mitchell.
Would you grab Kirk Cousins here and just take that 0 at
I prefer not to. Man, I'm just really buying in on Neil Farley stuff. I get it though. Like if this team I don't know. I think we're a little bit weak.
I do think
I don't feel like this is going to be You think it's strong enough?
I think it's strong enough to advance. Probably not strong enough to get like a top 10,000 team, but you get Kirk here, you're probably going to be unique to the field. You're going to have your 2 quarterbacks above average guys. You can still buy a wide receiver. You can buy Sky Moore here.
I mean, we could get a little correlation with Tyler Boyd. I'd almost rather go Gallup. Jeez. You know what?
I would not go Gallup. I just can't with it right now. He's getting pushed up a lot.
You want to go Sky? That's fine with me. Get a little Cincinnati
Week
correlation.
15.
He's getting some pump out there. I'm not, obviously you can tell I have selected him 0 times in Best Ball Mania. We'll try this. I don't like taking the double by QB.
Neither do I. But if I had to do it, I would do it with the guy I think is just going to score way above quarterback, right? Like where you could take that minus 15 for the day.
Yeah, it's tough. We'll see
or
what.
the minus 18 for the day. Like you take a net neutral 8-0 on your 18.
No, I mean we know. Like we're hoping we're a first place team because the data shows the first place teams usually win the league by a lot, and it's the second and third place is a lot of them are very very close where that bye week really matters, and so you're kind of hoping here. I don't know.
It's goofy.
No Farley's got me like in my head on bye weeks. I'm becoming a bye week bro of being scared of them.
I'm a bye week bro. I admit to it, but I think this is not the worst version of it. I'm more of like, why do we have 5 like guys and people are telling me like, oh, like 80% of my team is gone on week 12 and it's not gonna matter. Like it's going to matter when you score like 16 points. You're trying to catch up the rest of the points you're dodging. I think missing 18, not the end of the world. I think this would bother me more if I had like 2 week 13 guys and they were like really really low mid-tier quarterbacks.
The thing is, we're probably gonna add more week 13 guys though.
Are we?
Knox potentially.
Tight end.
I mean, he's probably the only one. I don't know. We could add Osborne. But
yeah, you're adding Osborne. That's what you're gonna add Osborne. I do not believe you're picking Osborne. I'm not
picking Osborne.
I have no faith in you to pick Osborne. I think you'd rather forego the pick. You'd be like, nah, it's cool. We're playing 17 players, so we're gonna go in with 17. You are like the most.
I don't hate Osborne. That I am not the most. I'm more anti other players, but yeah, I'm not a big Osborne fan.
Osborne is like, I think Osborne might have been a sell to you if Addison never got to the team. But now that Addison's there, I just don't think you see any chance that Osborne's out there. T.J. Hawkinson's too good. Addison's like one of the most pro-ready wide receivers in his draft class, and he got the best receiver. Justin Jefferson. You know what's funny about Justin Jefferson right now? Where every other buddy has bad news. Stephon Diggs has bad news. Tyreek Hill has a minor injury. Cooper Kupp is somewhat getting to camp. Justin Jefferson's red bubble news was it showed up to camp early. Is already at camp. He's not only the 101. He's like the 100. There's no chance this guy like just ever is gonna get that less ADP. His news was a positive.
Van Jefferson. God, you remember Big Board Van Jefferson?
I was shoving him out there. Me and a good one on Twitter.
Absolutely free. As we come back up, we haven't pumped this yet. We don't really do a good job of it, but really appreciate this support lately. It's been incredible. We're 7 away from 300. Can't really believe it. Like you guys have been so awesome. But if you're watching and you're not liked or subscribed, it really will subscribe, like as well. But main thing is subscribe. Really does mean a lot, and we appreciate it. So wanted to say that because we don't really do that stuff very much. We forget, but yeah, thank you guys.
We don't forget about you guys. We just forget about ourselves.
No, yeah, we don't like self-promotion.
My wife says she'll look me in the eyes once I get to 300. So just something out there, guys. Like right now, it's been really, really dark in my house. But I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. But I just thought it was funny about the whole like. I don't know. I feel like the KJ Osborne gets a lot of hate, and I get it. I don't disagree with you. I'm not drafting him anymore. Last year, it was funny.
He's highlighted though. Isn't that snazzy?
No, that's cool. That's fine. I'd rather take like Tyler Higbee or something.
Oh, we have a great pick on the board here.
I'd rather double down with Rushy Rice. Screw it.
I have 34% Jalen Warren. Let's see. I'm kind of like, man, it's weird. Like, I don't like this range very much. I like Jalen Warren, obviously, and I think we should take him here. Would be my pick because we need another running back, and he's got that.
I would also grab Singletary. Oh, did he just get grabbed? No, he didn't.
No, McKinnon. Singletary's here. Or do you like? I like this tier of receiver. That's probably any of these guys because they're probably not coming back. If we want to get, because we've got 6, which is fine, but I feel like Mims is a teardrop for me. So if you like Singletary, we'll do Singletary. If not, we should grab one of these because they're not coming back.
So I would like Mims. I'm not really the biggest. Like I said, I know I'm not the poster boy for correlation, but I'd also take maybe Taekwon.
I like
to
Taekwon
kind of
here.
throw that into this.
Continue our New England bet, or I mean, I
Yeah,
obviously have a lot of memes, but I like
and he's also
Taekwon.
a deep play receiver. So at this point, when we have a strong set of guys, I want deep shot guys. I want
The only
guys that I.
thing I will say is there's a chance. Like, what if Hopkins signs? Does he go back to like
Oh,
15th,
that does
16th
suck.
round?
Yeah, it's true. All right, let's grab Mims.
I want to
I'm
grab
also down
Mims.
for DPJ.
I kind of like. Well,
Pierce, grab Pierce. Nope, too late. You're
no,
not
let's
gonna get
let's,
him.
let's go
You're too
Mims.
slow. You're too slow.
I'm fine with Mims.
I
It's
would
just I
probably
think like that stuff at the turn, and I know we've talked about this on other shows, but you have to look at that. Like, if you like guys down the board, 7, 8 picks, like they're probably not coming back to you.
no,
So
definitely.
reaches like that are totally fine.
I would have also probably accepted Tank there. Tank, I feel like is getting a lot of love.
Thanks, fine.
He might be an up the gut guy that just ruins ETN this year. And not to say like I don't think ETN gets 1,000 yards, but he might be the reason ETN doesn't get more than 6 touchdowns this year.
Oh, Tank can also catch passes too.
Oh yeah, like I said, it's just like he might be the guy that takes away ETN's ability to get over 6 touchdowns on the season. And low touchdowns is just a death sentence for many teams.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, he's more of a big play bet. I feel like an efficiency is what you're hoping for with him. I mean, last year he got the work though; like that wasn't an issue. But the Tank stuff, the stuff coming from their coaching staff about wanting to have a committee, like Peterson has kind of always done that.
He was also a guy that started off really slow. Like ETN, as much as like he was an efficient bet, he just didn't get a ton of touches until after, James Robinson left and James Robinson doesn't have a job. But like he just wasn't getting many rushing attempts. Like I'm trying to think of all the games where I think ETN rushed the ball more than like 15 times and they don't come up that often. Even in week 17 where he was like the nuts, he actually didn't rush the ball more than like 10 times. He rushed it, I think, 9 times or like 8 times for like some exceedingly good yardage, and that was it. He just stopped and he moved on. they benched him and they were like, "All right, we're done. We won. Let's take a seat." I just don't think he's gonna be that grinder guy.
He had 9 attempts that week. Yeah.
Yeah. So
He had 3 games over 22 carries though. I'm looking. I pulled it up just to fact check. 'Cause I feel like there were games. He had a 28. He had a 28 carry game.
Okay, so we got a 20,
24.
a 24, a 22,
Yeah,
right?
everything else was lower. I'll give you that.
Yeah. 4, 9, 13, 8, 10, 14, 11, 2.
The only my pushback would be though, in today's NFL, no one's getting 20 touches that often, right? And so you need a guy like ETN who can take one to the house. Like that helps.
Sure.
When no one's getting that amount of touches.
I mean, he's just more expensive than Dalvin Cook then, kind of thing. So I just think he has a weird upside.
Yeah, but he's
his earnings.
Everyone thinks the Jags are going to be really good though. Right. Like they play in a weak division. Like I think they're past for him to get there. And again, I don't think I have that much ETN, but
ETN's total touchdowns on the season was 6. 5, not 5. He had 5 total touchdowns on the season.
I have 0 ETN.
That's my point, though. I'm just like
devil's advocate, I guess.
5 touchdowns on the season, and that's when James Robinson was gone. And Ernie sent us a great comment, Nikki, that I did not know this stat line. I should know this, but I don't. Lawrence had 5 of the 7 Jaguars rushing TDs from 2 yards or less last year. 5 of the 7 from the 2 yards.
Trevor Lawrence is very athletic.
He's really good, and now they have Calvin Ridley.
Yeah.
So ETN, who
doesn't matter, but
only had 5 touchdowns last year, and one of them, I think 2 of them came in one game. You have a total of 3 other games where he got you a TD in a half PPR format. I couldn't even argue this guy receives balls because he doesn't even catch that many passes. So like the one upside we could have said, well, he catches a lot of passes. He didn't even do that. So I just don't know if I think that's why I think Tank at pick 140 would have been a fine. Because I do think he just kind of kills ETN's upside.
Oh, I have a lot of Tank.
Yeah. So sorry. Back to the whole thing. It's just I think Tank could have been worthwhile to double down on our 2 elite RBs. Our mid elite. We took a mid RB. We didn't even take a 1-2. We took a 3-4 kind of guy, a 3-5 guy. So we took one on the turn of the 3rd, and we took one on the 5th. So I think our ADP bucket would have been fine for RB.
Could have been. Let's see. This is a tough spot. We need an RB here. We don't have to take one. I like Shaheed as I don't know. We're gonna do 8 receivers with. I think we could do. Our receivers aren't that strong.
I think we take away.
I feel like it's a 2-5-8-3.
Do we take Shaheed and Juwan here? We have Mike Evans.
Yeah, down. She goes.
We lost
You
Shahid.
still take
We
Juwan.
get Juwan.
Do you just want to do 3 tight end build? Do Juwan Knox
We
because
could do that.
he's not gonna come back. I don't
I
think.
also would be okay with like Jawan Foreman to just grab that fourth, but I think Jawan Knox is fine. Or do you? Yeah.
Or we could
go
not
ahead.
do Juwan and get a tight end that comes back to us.
No,
And
I want
take.
Jawan. I think Jawan's gonna be really
I
good.
definitely want to get Knox, to be honest.
Just grab Jawan Knox then. That's fine.
Yeah, we'll be done at tight end. This is
Completely.
a slightly weak RB room, but we're making big bet. I mean, we're making big bets on Ramondre and Gibbs being like the guy in Detroit. So we have that early capital investment. So
I do think every draft should be
and
individualized.
we do have the
although,
Steelers best running back. So
screw you. I hate you so much. I want to come back to this show and just comment on it when my Najee bet hits.
Okay.
I'm just going right back to this episode. I'm gonna log it in. But so like people always say like if you don't like Gibbs, why are you? Well, we may not like Gibbs, but this team is on paper supposed to like Gibbs, right? We
Yeah.
drafted him. We have to believe these teams are
I
individualized
know
in that way.
Yeah, exactly. You're quote unquote drafting. You're drafting like you're right, like everyone says. So.
Yeah, but people always say like drafting like your right's like a consistent thing. Sometimes it is particular to a team. I have to believe that Gibbs is the guy if I'm taking him at 49.
Yeah.
Even though I may not realistically believe that as a whole. But at 49, I don't think it's a bad bet.
No, I like.
David Montgomery gets hurt eventually. We know this.
Yeah. I'll get there. Let's see. We are going to be pretty. The picks, I don't know. Like sometimes the double tap with tight end there is tough. I like it because I like both those players. But the problem is, like, I think I don't know.
Got them rather late,
like there's some running backs we still like here, so I think that's fine.
I do think the tight ends don't look as good later. Like after Conklin, it is a complete fall.
I mean,
like,
it is, but you're still getting starting players. Like you're
True.
still getting Hayden Hurst, Michael Mayer, Trey Brown. I mean, that's why the late tight end is so strong. Even all the way down, like Musgrave, Ferguson, Fant. So you're gonna get guys. You're gonna get guys who are running routes.
So outside of Mayer, I don't think any of those guys I would consider athletic NFL upside tight ends, right? I think Juwan is like athletic. I think Knox is athletic, even though people don't think that he has amazing plays. I don't know if I feel the same way about Hayden Hurst. Like, when have we watched Hayden Hurst and go like, "Wow, what a great play"? Like he's catching a ball and maybe he's falling.
The thing is, though, like his route participation out for the Panthers compared to like these random receivers and running backs, like we just don't have a clue. I mean, we think we do, but a lot of these guys aren't barely going to play snaps, or they could end up getting cut or be the third, fourth stringers versus like.
No, I get that.
We know Hayden Hurst is going to be out there. Also, this is true. I actually love Najee Harris, one of my favorite Alabama players ever. Like, awesome guy. But yeah, it has not worked out great for him in the NFL, but it's still good.
Great for him. He's been a back-to-back like 1,400.
That's fair. That was wrong wording. That was wrong wording. It's just he's not like a fun pick for fantasy in my opinion.
I think he's had like 20 touchdowns in 2 seasons.
That was wrong wording. I take that back. Saying it hasn't worked is wrong than saying like it's not exciting.
I don't think the man's even missed a game yet.
I do love Najee Harris.
Like I said, these bets are the same though. Juwan and Knox are better, athletic, more breakaway tight ends. I get it. Hurst is a starter, and I do pick a lot of these like Hunter Henry, Hayden Hurst guys.
Yeah.
But I do think like there is a small step of like talented tight end that we're getting. And we've seen this. We've seen really bad tight end picks all the time, but we've seen some really talented ones. And I think like Knox has proven he's talented, and Juwan Johnson getting paid how much? I think he's getting paid a ton this year to just be there.
I think he got $6 million a season.
Yeah,
if that sounds right.
That's like 2 Madisons. He's getting paid to be out there with Derek Carr. We know is a pretty solid quarterback that uses his tight end. He's used like 5 tight ends in his career. He used like Foster Moreau. He's used like Michael Rivera. He's used Darren Waller. He's used who's the old guy? Cooks. James Cooks.
Cook.
James Cook.
Oh, no.
James Cook.
Yeah, I can't remember his name, but I know what you're talking about. Also, we had Justin Ross in the 16th year.
Yeah. So I'm totally fine. Oh God. People are that makes sense though, because he's Randy Moss.
No, of course.
He's the next Randy Moss. His name even rhymes. Like Justin Ross.
Man, there would be 2 smash flicks here for me if they come back.
Is it Bryce Young and CJ Stroud?
It is not. The smash click of Bryce. God, I'm out here I have 0 Bryce Young too. I'm just disrespecting all my Bama boys.
You just
It
hate
would be
rookies like I do.
Chuba and Gus actually.
I
Jared
still
Cook.
think I would consider Jeff Wilson too, but that's also fine.
I like getting.
Why don't you get Jeff Wilson and Gus and just correlate them together?
Running back correlation, backup running back correlation week 17.
I mean, Wilson has shown that he's a pretty reliable guy, and he's inevitable. Like that dude's always produce, even though he gets no respect.
I feel better about taking Chuba on this team here.
Okay, that's fine.
I want to just the Dalvin Cook stuff. Like I want to wait and see.
I'm still taking a lot. Oh, Jared Cook. Thank you, Mr. Scampers.
Jared Cook, yeah, Scampers.
God,
He got her back.
He's been around for a round.
Wasn't he on the Chargers at one point too?
He was on like 4 teams. He was a Green Bay. He had that like a miraculous one catch, and everyone thought he was good. They were like, he's so good. See that catch? And then he went and then did nothing again. Good tight. He actually is a good tight end. I just give him crap because he was playing around in his like mid-30s, like running out there, and people kept overly drafting him in fantasy.
Fair.
Are you trying to figure out if he's actually a Green Bay Packer at one point? You don't remember that?
It might have been a little before my time.
It's not that old. It's not even okay. No, it's not. It was like 2014, 2015. You had to be watching football at that time.
I was in high school, but yeah, I was watching football. I wasn't this into fantasy in my junior year of high school though.
Sheesh. All right, this is Jared Cook's team. We're pulling this up. Titans, St. Louis. Oh my God, St. Louis Rams. That's how far that back that is. Green Bay Packers at 29. Oakland Raiders at 30-31. New Orleans Saints. Yep, we forgot about the New Orleans time. 2-year tenure, and then the Chargers at the end. The dude's been all over the board. He was pretty fantasy relevant on the back end.
He was Gerald Everett before Gerald Everett.
Exactly. Perfect. That's exactly perfect way to say it. He was Gerald Everett before. He actually did finish out his like later years better than he did his early career. But I also think that could have just been kind of how tight ends were used back in like 09 to like 14. But that was another guy that Derek Carr has made pretty useful and relevant for fantasy at times. So I followed that Derek Carr career, man. Way worse than I should.
Let's see what we got going on here. Any interesting picks for these last couple? Pretty standard guys that we see get taken.
We got one player left. Got one guy. We can get weird with it.
Or we can just correlate it. Yeah, I think it's a fine team.
Watch it. You got to name. I'm telling you, it's gonna make it. It's gonna get across.
No, I'm gonna name it exactly how I name all my teams. I have a very organized way of naming all my teams.
I do not name my teams at all, besides the UCCs and some that I really, really, really like. Most of the time I name it, it's based on people in the draft. So like if I know someone's in here, I'd be like, oh, it's like, it's Andrew draft. Like I was like, or like if Nobo or James are in that, but like the Nobo draft, the James draft, I'll just name them based on people I see in there. Do me favors draft, things like that. I have one of Hart. He's in our chats all the time. Put Hart in our first draft. Let's go the draft of Hart. It's not the most creative. I'm more about playing the people in the pods rather than like does it get far.
I even do. Yeah, I do puppies and BBMs different. I'll pull them up. Andrew wants to make our pick here. It's not that. I mean, it's nothing crazy. Actually, I can just show them.
Fantasy Dysfunctional says it should.
BestBall Mania, they all have to be. So I have it listed by the date it was drafted, the structure, the structure, and then the stacks, the quarterback stacks, or if one quarterback stacks.
Don't you have Spike Week? Doesn't it tell you all this?
Puppy 2 is all my structures, and then the stacks not dated because it's a time box tournament. But yeah, BBMs dated, puppies not, but all the structures.
You would hate mine.
You guys want to draft a slow draft with me?
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna lose our BBM actually. Help me spot it.
It should be at the top.
There it is. Yeah. We got a few. I got just a few puppy 2 slows going on.
Oh shoot, we got Jace Brown on the comeback.
I was thinking 8th wide receiver on this team, but we could do a 6th RB. We've got.
No, I'm just seeing it. It's just interesting that we see it. Like I'm surprised. He normally wouldn't have come back.
Let's see. Who do we like here? No one. Deontay Hardy's here just to throw on a correlated deep shot guy.
No,
like,
I would not. I'd rather just take a shot
like
with
I know
Mac
you'd rather have
Hollins.
Mac Hollins.
I'd rather just take Mac Hollins.
I don't know. I'm not taking two.
He's a wide
Parker
receiver
for
2 on his team.
correlation. I don't know. Parker could get buried though.
Yeah, if you
I
think Hopkins is
haven't-
going there, like
Yeah,
that's the first guy to die on that team. Is
I'm
Devontae
fine.
Parker.
I'm fine with Mac Hollins.
Mac Hollins has spent more time in the hospital bed than he's on the field. And this is as a Dolphin fan. Like this guy just does not see the field.
I think, yeah, Mac Hollins is a good bet for routes at least. Who knows about target share, but he's going to be out there at least, and that's the kind of like guy I want to pick in the 18th round. I like this team though. I think it's fairly solid. We're in a little bit of a heavy wide receiver room. I usually don't do the Josh Allen, but I guess it's on something. I guarantee I don't have Josh Allen and Justin Jefferson paired together.
Or Ramondre even.
I might have Josh Allen and Ramondre because I think I have like a Diggs. I think I have a Diggs Ramondre Allen, honestly.
How did that even happen? They both have slipped. Oh, unless you had Diggs early enough?
Yeah, like if I'm getting Diggs at like
5, 6.
7, and then I don't know. I'll have to find that team. I'll send it to you. But I think this is a good team. I think it's a fun one.
Oof. All right. See, and this is a for the anti-bye week guys. We did it for you. We got 2 quarterbacks at week 13.
We do have 2 week 13 guys.
We're gonna show them bye week bros what's up.
As we are bye week bros, we need that team to absolutely smash. But I think it's a fun team. It got me on a unique build we don't usually do. I'll have to make sure I get that named properly.
Other than that, I think we're done for the day. We'll see you guys next Tuesday. Thanks for hanging out. Remember, like, subscribe, send it to your friend, hop on your mom's YouTube account, log in, hit the button, and then we'll be good to go.
Appreciate you guys hanging out. It was a lot of fun. We'll be back next Tuesday and Thursday, like always. Eventually, we're going to get these solo streams going. I just not having the time to do them. But we'll get them going again, get some late night drafts, especially as the season approaches and I have hundreds of drafts left to do.
More bet boards. More bet boards to go.
Yes. All right.
I'm glad you guys liked that. That was fun.
Peace, guys.